We are glad when citizens show up to see your elected officials and the staff conduct business on behalf of the city and establish policy and move the city forward. We are also asking you to be kind enough to join us as we have a word of prayer. Councilman Scott Stacy will give us an opening prayer, and then we ask if you be kind enough to stand and join us by citing our Pledge of Allegiance. Councilman Stacy.
Thank you. Let us pray. Father, we come to you now thanking you for the opportunity to be able to come together, and we thank you for the opportunity to be able to go about the business and your business, Father God, for the city. We ask that you bestow upon everybody here wisdom, grace, and we just lift up everybody that's in our communities. And it's in Jesus' name we ask. Amen.
Amen. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this meeting is called to order. We have an agenda that is presented before us for tonight. If you would like to have a hard copy of the agenda, you can get one from our city clerk. And we also have it projected up on the screen. At this time, I'd like to ask the council members, what is your pleasure with the agenda?
Move to amend the number 5 to table number 5 and approve.
Can we table till July 18th?
July 18th.
Council meeting? Second.
Okay. Any other unreadiness or issues with the agenda? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as requested by Councilman Stacy and seconded by Councilman Hoffman, with tabling item number 5 until July the 18th. Call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposers, nay. The approval of the minutes of the April 18, 2024 City Council regular meeting. What is your pleasure, council members?
Move to approve.
Second.
Properly moved to approve and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposers, nay. And the approval of the minutes of the April 30th City Council work session.
Move to approve.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposers, nay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are always proud when we do recognitions and presentations. At this time, we are blessed in favor to have Fayette Factor youth community here, and we are going to ask them to come forward and present a proposal. Whoever the spokesperson is, please step up to the microphone, and if there's multiple, just... Oh, she's got handouts. Thank you.
Does it have pictures? Does it have pictures?
Yeah, you got to have pictures for Councilman Hoffman.
Crayons.
Ooh, colorful pictures.
All right, thank y'all for meeting with us today. We are presenting
Pull the
you-
microphone down just a little bit closer and step in front of it. There you go. Thank you.
Thank y'all for meeting with us today. We are presenting to you today the Run for Your Why 5K Color Run. I'm Aurora Collins, and I am the president of Youth Action Team at Whitewater High School.
I am Haley Porter, and I am the vice president.
I am Sophia Collins, and I'm the treasurer.
I'm Kiva Kasky, and I'm the secretary.
Okay, ladies.
So this 5K is meant to be an opportunity for the community to come together while also supporting good causes and having fun. The color run is going to be set up along a 5K route, and there'll be color stations, and at each color station, there will be volunteers with colored powder, and they'll throw it at the runners, and then by the end of it, everyone comes out with like color all over them, and it's super fun. I've personally done quite a couple color runs, and they're some of my favorite because it's easygoing and it's fun. Everyone's laughing and having a good time, and there's no stress to like get a good time or something. And I know I really enjoy them, and I think the community will too. Just a quick thing, how do we get it to go back?
So we kind of just wanted to start off by telling you who we are and what we've done. The Youth Action Team is a group of 9th to 12th graders who are dedicated to drug and alcohol misuse prevention and awareness, as well as the betterment of our student body's mental health, as well as our community. Some events that we have done in the past year, earlier in the year, we did a chalk walk, which is exactly how it sounds, on the sidewalk leading into our building. We had a We Are Thankful For, and then each different square of the sidewalk was a different group in our school community that we were thankful for. We wanted to make them feel appreciated and know that we were here for them and we saw what they were doing. The second event, or big event that we've done this year, we've done cafeteria events. The most recent one being we had a poster in the cafeteria with different questions on it that anybody in the cafeteria could come up and answer for some candy. Some questions were, how many people do you know that vape, or who's somebody that you can go to as a mentor? And this was to not only draw attention to our group and our group's values, but also to get them thinking about things that are going on in our school society, and hopefully that would influence the rest of their lives. And the most recent one that we've done is actually our annual volleyball tournament. We hold it every spring, and it's open to anybody in our school. We have teachers, we have chorus members, orchestra members, different sports teams, robotics members, and then just different friend groups. And they can come in on a Friday night and play some volleyball in our gym. And this is just to show that there is an alternative to partying on a Friday night, or drinking, or participating in drugs. And we found that the events that we hold are much more impactful than statistics that we feed them through Instagram or our social medias. When they can actually see an alternative to these negative decisions, we feel it's more impactful. People talk about it more, people look forward to it more, and it's just kind of nice to see direct results from people actually participating in things in our community. And that's what prompted this 5K color run. We think that it would reach more people and it would have a greater impact than what we would do at our school, because it reaches a greater amount of people.
So like Haley mentioned, the events that we plan and do, like the volleyball tournament, that instead of just feeding people statistics, actually give them something else to do, as opposed to substance misuse, they generally have a much larger impact on the population. And even if they don't have as much of an impact, it's better for it, not better, but there's more of a prevention factor because they are doing something else, even if they're not being educated about it through statistics. It's much better and it leaves a larger impact. And so we were hoping to plan more events like the volleyball tournament next year at our school, seeing the impact that they had. And one of those was this 5K color run. So originally we were planning just to do it within the Whitewater community, but the more people sort of got involved in planning it, and the further along that we got with it, we realized that there was a greater interest in it, and it could be something that would benefit the entire Fayette County community, and then we could reach a lot more people than just Whitewater. I think there were a few foundations that had shown interest in it. Drug Free Fayette and Ryan's Name Foundation, the Peachtree City running clubs like the Roadrunners had already agreed and had shown a lot of interest in it. But the scale that it has grown to, we could not just hold it in our Whitewater campus anymore, because of the scale that we're hoping it will grow to even further. So we're hoping to hold it over here in City Park right before finals next year, end of April, beginning of May, sort of as a stress reliever for the stress that can come with finals. And additionally, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so we were hoping that we could tie that in there and really give people an outlet.
That's not the time for you.
So we knew that we really did want to reach as many people as possible. We wanted to reach all age groups, all social groups, and really anyone who wanted to support our community. So, for example, I would want to support lung cancer, or really any type of cancer, because I had a grandfather who recently passed away from cancer a few years ago. And it's really important to me, and it's really near and dear to my heart, that I get to run for something and support something. So even though that may not be important to all of y'all, I know everyone in here could have a why that they might want to run for. So that brings me to our theory that we want to do colored wristbands. So the wristbands would symbolize different things. So for example, you'd have like mental health would be green, cancer would be light purple, and substance misuse prevention would be red. And that would allow people to really be able to run for their own reason and for their own why. And that could even bring people to be able to connect if they wanted to, because they had a certain cause in common.
All right, so our fundraising goal for this event is $30,000. We plan to obtain this money through fundraising in our schools across all the local Fayette County schools and all their youth action teams. I know something specifically in Whitewater we can do is something similar to our annual volleyball tournament, but instead all the proceeds would go to help fundraising for this. Not only would this help fundraise, but it'll also help advertise in our schools. We can also get grants, donations, and all the local youth action teams can go around to local businesses and ask for sponsorships. And then we already have some organizations that are interested in supporting us, like the Peachtree City Roadrunners, In Ryan's Name Foundation, and Drug Free Fayette. So the event budget and consideration. For sake of time, I'm not going to go through every single bullet point, but but we just really want to show you today that we have thought through all the steps and we aren't coming into this meeting blind. So just a couple to point out are the logistics, which will have safety measures like first aid stations and EMTs, the registration and participation, which our limit would be 350 runners, and our volunteers. We are estimated to need 30 to 50 volunteers. I know one way we could recruit this number is in our local schools. I know personally, I have a lot of friends who are constantly asking for service hours for clubs like Beta Club or National Honor Society, and they would be more than willing to come and help and volunteer for the 5K. So this is our estimated supplies. Again, just a couple to point out are the safety and logistics, which will include LEA and fire and EMS and signage, the 6 color powders, and the insurance. Also, on the 6 colored powders, just as a side note, the colored powder is made of cornstarch and food dye, which is not only environmentally friendly, but it's also an easy cleanup. And then here are a couple other budget items. You have the interactive alcohol prevention booths, which will make it so like after the 5K, people can go and go to these booths to like learn about substance misuse in our community and get educated about it. So how can y'all guys help us? Well, we think the perfect place to hold this event would be the City Center Park. City Center Park is already a place for the community. You guys hold so many great events there, and I think it would be the perfect place for this event. Also, it has the facility to have things for afterwards, like food trucks, vendors, interactive booths. It already has a food place like the Hog Pit and the Pizza Place, and live music would be awesome too. And I just think all of these things would really elevate this 5K to the next level, because it means that because the 5K would probably be somewhere in the morning between like 8:30 or 9, and then afterwards people can hang out and get to know each other and not just get in their car and go home, but then you get that community bonding, which we really want. Advertising. So y'all guys hold very strong ties to the community since you are its leaders, and so any advertising from you can only help make sure that we reach every corner of our community and that everyone gets to know about this event. And then finally, donations. We are fully prepared to pay for this event, but any extra donations can only help make this event better.
So we've kind of mapped out what we're looking at right here. The red box is where the actual 5K would be held, and then the bluish purple box would be where the parking is. I do want to point out that the red line closest to Stonewall Avenue is not right against the road. We don't want that to be a safety issue. There's actually a road in between there, which is where it would be held. And we really just want you to imagine this, we have runners come out, we have kids playing at the park, we have food, we have music, and it's just something that would really bring the community together, and it's great publicity for Fayetteville. And we think that it's just such a beautiful space that this would be the perfect location for it. And we really have thought through everything as far as the dynamic and what the day would look like, and safety, of course.
Thank you all again for your time. Any questions?
Yes, first, then I'll turn it over to the other council members. Have you established a date or proposed date for the event?
We don't have a proposed date yet, but we know we want to do somewhere in the beginning of May.
Okay, so you'll have to coordinate with our staff and making sure that there are no conflicts with any other activities. Okay. Are the parents of these young ladies here? Parents, would you please stand? Let me say, on behalf of the city council, and let the other council members say, extremely impressed with your children, with your daughters, okay? Phenomenal ladies, articulated yourself extremely well, and I think you did a wonderful job of laying out the proposal. Council members, any other comments?
I was so impressed, I was even thinking about running, and I don't run.
Thank you so much.
I'm impressed enough that I want to be one of those people throwing the powder and stuff. Is there cannons available? Boom. I'll do it.
Absolutely, job well done, great presentation, and definitely look forward to it.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
You definitely can tell that y'all put a lot of time, effort, and thought into it, especially when you come up with a budget that's so precise and long. But it's definitely something that I think would bring the community together, and that's what we're all about in Fayetteville's community.
I thought Councilman Clark said he'd open up his checkbook and write out a check for everything that you need right away, okay?
Can you tell us more about the volleyball? Is that just the youth volleyball, or how is that? Because that council loves to play volleyball.
We would be more than welcome to open it up to y'all. We've only made it open at our school the past 2 years. We always hold it in the spring, and we open up like for tickets. Spectators can come in and anybody can play. We usually have like a $5 fee per person for each team, and usually at the end we have like Chick-fil-A gift cards that they would win if there was like a winning team, and it usually lasts the entire night. But people talk about it throughout the whole year. They ask questions about it, they form teams, and it's kind of just a nice night to get together and, you know, spread our values.
Good stuff. We have our economic development director, Lori Funderwhite, over here, so we start the communication with her, and then we look forward to working with you on this fabulous project.
So let me ask a question before you finish here. So the park is where all this will take place? It's just going to be going around in circles?
Yes, sir.
Or the square?
And the other high schools are not involved in this at all, just Whitewater?
Right now, yes, but I think they all like local Fayette County high schools have their own youth action team, so we would love to bring them in and have them help us with this. But yes, right now we're all from Whitewater.
Council members, you got any recommendation to the staff on this proposal?
I recommend that we do this.
Okay. So if you would coordinate with our city manager, and he's already identified Ms. Lori to be the coordinator point, and you guys work it out, and we'll do our best to support it. You know, not only with staffing and the support that you need, but I'm willing to go out and talk to some big sponsors to see if we can get you some financial donations as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let's give these young ladies a round of applause. I understand you ladies want to take a picture with the council members. Council members, let's go down and meet and greet these young ladies. Is that?
That's why Joe and I dress. And Naya. We all dressed. Oh, because we do.
This is our staff youth advisor.
Is this possible to slide?
All of them are like that. They are. It's equal now.
You'd like for me to do that, would you?
No, we didn't want to have to pay to get fixed.
I'm going to sue you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to move on. Item number 4, GFOA Distinguished Budget Presentation Award. This is our 18th year, presented by our Director of Finance, Mr. Michael Bush.
I don't know if I can follow that act. That was pretty good.
It was. Take some lessons from them. No, just kidding.
And they even
I
spelled
may
it,
need
and they
some of
even
them.
spelled everything right.
I may need them to help me with this budget going forward. So we turned in our budget book like we do every year, and it received the Award of Excellence. And this award represents a significant achievement to the city. It reflects the commitment of the governing body and staff to meeting the highest principles of governmental budgeting. I will tell you that I am very much involved with the audit. I don't do much other than work with the departments to get the budget set, and then once the budget's set, that's when this budget book becomes activated, and there's a lot of statistics in there. If anybody wants to see it, it's online. We don't ever print it out. It would be 2-3 inches thick. It's got a lot of information in it, but it is online under the finance tab. You go into the finance tab, and it's one of the reports, and there's many years worth of it sitting there. Karen Austin puts this book together, has done for the last several years, with the help of all the department heads and other people in the departments to make this book available. And again, it's really good. If y'all ever want to go look at it. And I told her that next year we're going to print some and we're going to present them to you guys, just so y'all have them to see exactly what's in them. But Carletha was supposed to make this presentation, and something came up, and I said I'll do it. So
Thank you, Michael.
I don't have anything to present to you, so
No
sorry.
problem. We understand this is an award in recognition, and we commend not only the staff, but specifically the finance department for continuing to do an exceptional job in making sure that all of our financial records are in order to the point where we can receive this distinguished award. Council members, anything else for Mr. Bush?
Thank you.
Hearing none? Thank you, Michael. Let's give our entire staff a round of applause. And ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on to public hearings. Item number 5 has been tabled. We're moving on to new business. Consider Resolution R-2224, the extension of the moratorium on downtown mixed-use zoning district until June the 7th. Our city manager, Mr. Ray Gibson.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As you recall, back on February 27th of this year, we passed a moratorium impacting any development in the downtown mixed-use zoning district. The resolution before you tonight is to ask for an extension of that moratorium to June the 7th, 2024. We're almost ready with all the information. We just need a bit more time to compile it.
Council members, any questions for Mr. Gibson on this item?
Had enough time?
That's enough time. Yes, sir. I promise.
heard that before.
I promise.
Okay. Any questions from the citizens on this item? Hearing none. Council members, what is your pleasure with Resolution R-2224?
Move to approve.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposers, nay. Reports and comments, ladies and gentlemen. Our city manager, anything to report, sir?
Yes, sir. I have a long list tonight, and first and foremost, I want to wish Councilwoman Dr. Nia Glover a happy birthday. She's 25. 25, right? Mayor Johnson was recently given the Community Champion Award from the Kulima Montessori School. So congratulations, Mayor. And this week is Police Week, National Police Week. So obviously, congratulations and thank you to the police department for all they do for our community every day. We thank them. And then next week is National Human Resources Day, as well as Public Works Week. So once again, thank you to all those staff, the great work that they do for our community. Upcoming events, we have Fitness in the Park, May 18th, this Saturday at 9 a.m. Council, you should all be there. We got to train for volleyball.
Oh, Lord.
The Jazz Fest concert is this Saturday at the Ville Amphitheater. I think the gates open at 7 o'clock. Junior Firefighter Summer Camp starts in June with our city fire department, and the deadline to register for this program is May the 20th. We're already getting a lot of responses from other fire departments to participate in that process as well. Next town hall meeting, we had our first town hall meeting last Thursday, which went very well, and we have our second town hall meeting for the 38-acre tract that the city recently purchased. Will be this Monday at 6 p.m. Down in the Line Creek Brewery meeting room. So we look forward to having more in-depth discussion on the particular plan that was shared. There's also a lot of, not a lot of it, but the availability for residents to go online and comment online through the Polco platform that's on our website. So please take the time to do that if you can. And then Tasty Tuesday will be every fourth Tuesday in City Center Park starting on May 28th. Going through August, there'll be food trucks and free axe throwing from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And that's it for me, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Really appreciate it. Council members, anything to report?
Well, I am kind of excited about the mental health initiative that we are pushing here in Fayetteville that should be launching within the next few weeks. I've completed 2 podcasts, one actually this morning to start introducing how we are going to start rolling this out. So I'm very excited about that, creating workshops and things of that nature within the city to help streamline resources to our citizens. So looking forward to a lot of new things that are actually developing within the city as well.
Thank you, Dr. Glover.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other council members, anything?
Just want people to know that, believe it or not, there's election going on in our county. A lot of races. But just to let you know, I know what the turnout's been so far, and it's rather dismal. So if you all have not voted yet, tomorrow's the last day of early voting. Next Tuesday is election day. So go out and express your vote, because it always counts.
Any others? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the opportunity for citizens to come up and to address the council with citizen comments. I saw several people sign up, and please come forward if you've got any comments, complaints, accommodations, whatever you have on your heart you want to address to the council. We're eagerly waiting and listening. We have 3 minutes for your comments, so the buzzer will go off at 3 minutes. So
very good. I'll try to be brief.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Good evening, esteemed members of this council. Thank you for allowing me to address you all. My name is Jason Davis. I stand before you as a concerned citizen and property owner in this community. I would love to address you about something I think is a matter of great significance, not only to myself, but also other members of the community that might be affecting them as well. Recently,
do me a favor.
Trying to be fast.
Speak. No, don't
closer?
be quick. We want to be able to understand and clearly hear you, but speak into the microphone, okay?
Is this good?
That's better.
Perfect. Excellent. Recently, it has come to my attention that the Georgia Power Company is seeking to obtain easements over portions of private property in order to install high voltage power lines. While I understand the necessity of infrastructure development for the benefit of our community, I believe that this plan raises critical concerns that deserve careful consideration. First and foremost, this imposition represents a significant intrusion on property rights, which is a cornerstone of our democratic society. Property ownership is more than just a legal construct. It embodies the very essence of personal autonomy and security. Attempts to coerce or forcibly seize land for a project that may not directly benefit the affected property owners undermines this fundamental principle. The manner in which Georgia Power is approaching citizens of our community, which is in a piecemeal fashion, with little to no transparency over with regards to the implications of the project or its effects on individual property owners' assets, is a decidedly underhanded method which seeks to take advantage of the people of our community and deprive them of fair compensation for this intrusion. Furthermore, the installation of high voltage power lines poses potential risks not only to property values, but also to the health and safety of nearby residents. There's a growing body of evidence suggesting possible adverse health effects associated with prolonged exposure to electromagnetic fields emitted by such infrastructure. And as stewards of public welfare, I believe it is incumbent on this council to thoroughly assess the risks and prioritize the well-being of our community members. in light of this, I would urge this council to work with the community and Georgia Power to help try and explore alternative solutions that may achieve the stated objectives of the power company without resorting to the seizure of private property. Perhaps through dialogue and collaboration, we can identify less intrusive routes or technologies that mitigate the impact on private property and public health while still meeting the demands of our growing energy needs. In closing, I would implore this council to carefully weigh the implications of allowing the installation of these high voltage lines, and let's uphold the rights of our property owners, safeguard the health and safety of our community, and seek innovative solutions that foster harmony and progress. Together, we can ensure a future that respects both the needs of our community and the dignity of every individual. Thank you for your time and letting me address you, and I hope you'll take this into consideration.
Thank you,
Thanks very
Jason.
much.
Comments from council? Okay. Thank you very much. We'll take your comments under consideration. And anything you say that you have evidence of them coercing residents to give up the right-of-way in their property?
The coercive, I would say that the manner in which they're approaching individuals, not presenting a unified plan, but instead attempting to, as you can see, the people that are speaking here, address individual property owners in isolation and not express sort of the implications of the entire project is doing them a disservice, and it's
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
I'm Richard Matthews. I live on Graves Road 2, and I want to see if we can find alternate routes for these high power voltage lines. They're over 230K. The poles are around 180 feet high, and they're going to be running basically right down Graves Road in front of our homes. And I've also heard too that when they're going to start on coming down from 92, where the electrical corridors are, near me, what's it, Mayon?
Mylon?
Omen.
Okay.
Omen Road, coming down, all the way down 92, then turning onto Graves Road, and also going all the way over to Veterans Parkway. So basically, they're going to affect about 100 homes. And this is not a very good route for them to take. I have looked at the maps, Google, and the maps that the city has. The power corridor, where it starts at, they have a power corridor, electrical power corridor that goes all the way down to the power lines that go right down to the center already. I don't know why they're choosing to go down 92 and shoot down across Graves Road. It makes absolutely no sense to me. And if they can't put any more power lines there, they could also take that corridor down to Veterans Road and go straight down Veterans Road, because it would end up where they must be trying to get the power to and not interfere with any homes at all. Other than the ones that are already there near the transition power corridors already, they'll probably have to give them more easements, get more easements from them individuals. But this affects a lot of people, a lot of households. And the way they're doing it is they're just informing the people for easements. I don't believe any of you have heard anything about this power, and you should have been informed. It affects your city, you as the leaders in the city, and we as your constituents think we need to be treated fairly. And I see nothing being done correctly in the process of taking care of the citizens here in Fayetteville. We need to make sure our representatives get out there and find out what's going on. I'd like to see a plan of the original, what they plan to send these power lines through, because we have not seen nothing. We're getting this word of mouth here and there from people who have little connections. We don't know what's going on, but we know they're trying to push it through as fast as they can. Right now, they're supposedly on a design hold at the beginning of Graves Road near 92 because they ran into a problem. Oh.
We understand, sir. We will get with you and hopefully get some more information from you.
I would
think
love
it-
to. I have some photos that I can show you where these power lines going through.
We will.
I believe.
We will ask you to get it to our city manager, and we will investigate it. I think most of us recognize that the power lines were in support of the data center, but
Yeah.
we have not been privileged to the exact route because most of it is unincorporated Fayetteville. So we will investigate what portion of that impacts the Fayetteville residents.
Do you have a map? Or do
I
you,
can
is it-
show you what I believe is the route they're taking,
Okay,
and I can show you alternatives that they
what we-
should be taking.
What we've been told is that, what I was told today anyways, is that individual land agents are making, it's not a group, it's individual land agents are meeting with residents.
Right, they don't want to pass
I
any
think that's a bit of a
information on to
concern,
any
correct?
other land individual on it. They're doing it very secretively. This is not the right way for the individuals in Fayetteville to be treated.
Thank you, sir. If you get the information to our city manager, we will investigate and give you some feedback. Anyone else would like to come and address the council tonight? Again, when you come up, please give us your name, your address, verifying that you reside in the city, and whatever is on your mind.
Okay, I'm not sure we'd call it the city. We're talking about Fayette County. And specifically, we're talking about Graves Road between Ginger Cake and 92. They are looking, Georgia Power is looking to put power poles on Graves Road, multiple power poles.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, will you state your name and your address?
Oh, I'm sorry, my name is Lori Groves, and my address is 151 Graves Road. Okay? That was one of my minutes, one of my seconds. I'm sorry. So it's a half mile. Bottom line, it's a half mile. On that half mile are 15 homes. The median value of those homes is $700,000. For the sake of simple math for everybody, I took the low end at $500,000. Basically, having consulted multiple realtors, one I've known for 20 years, one I've known for 2 phone calls and a text, they have said we could expect to lose somewhere between 20 and 40% of our home value because people have choices. If I have a choice to live in a neighborhood that has 8 power poles that I look at every day, and the choice to live in the kind of neighborhood we have right now without those, I'm a buyer, I have choice, I'm going to buy somewhere else. So let's go back. We have 15 homes, average price, $500,000. It's actually $700,000. I'm lowballing. Loss of 20% market value. So at a minimum, the 15 homeowners on that half a stretch of Graves Road will lose approximately low end $100,000 each. This is going to cost us $1.5 million property value loss. So, for example, in our home, Georgia Power has made us an offer of a one-time payment of $300,000. I'm sorry, not, I wish, of $300, okay? So for all of you, show of hands, how many of you are willing to give up $200,000 of your property value to Georgia Power for $300? No one. Interesting. Okay, if you wouldn't do it, we don't think Georgia Power should ask us to do it. What's good for the goose, good for the gander. I also think that people have taken this approach that we can't go up against Georgia Power. They're too big. David and Goliath, okay? Goliath was big, David was small, but he had a rock, and so do we. I believe the rock bed of Georgia Power's plans require them to build in Fayette County. If they don't, they are going to miss milestones, they are going to go over budget, they are going to have repercussions. So I believe that we should absolutely, positively stand on that rock together and say you will not, in the absence of any other plans, you will not take over our residential properties and cost us millions of dollars. There are alternative routes that they can take. The person who spoke before showed you one of those routes.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask if you're coming forward to address this particular topic with no further amplification of any evidence or comments. We're going to ask you to close the comments on the Georgia Power issue. You have to give us time to do some further investigation, and unless you have something other than what we've already heard to offer, we ask that you not speak on this particular issue.
Mayor, our attorney wants to say something.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to let Mayor and Council and the citizenry know a couple of things. And before I say anything, I want to make clear, I do not represent Georgia Power, never have, and probably never will. I do, however, represent a number of other condemning authorities. What a condemning authority is a city, a county, Georgia DOT, Georgia Power, EMC companies who have what the law refers to as the right of eminent domain. That means they have the right to take private property. It doesn't mean you are required to accept their offer. It doesn't mean if you're contacted by a condemning authority, you're required to make a deal with them. What the process is, what they're doing now, what I'm hearing, I don't know anything about what they're doing other than what I've heard tonight. What I am hearing is what is the process that condemning authorities always go through. They always initiate, because they are required by law to initiate negotiations. They are required by law to share certain information with property owners. It is not uncommon that the information they share to one property owner is separate and distinct from the information they share with the next property owner. There's a lot of reasons for that. It may or may not be the most tasteful, appropriate way to do it, but it is not uncommon. If you are concerned that the value that they are offering you is not appropriate, there are steps you can take. And the first step I would recommend anyone who is faced with a situation like this is to contact an attorney. Now, people are probably saying, I don't want to drop a ton of money on a lawyer. I will say that there is an industry of lawyers who take these cases that do so on a contingency fee. And what that means is they don't expect a lot of money from property owners up front. They may expect some money from property owners up front, but not the full amount if you were hiring a lawyer to, pursue a regular lawsuit. And there is a process that lawyers representing property owners go through, and it typically involves making sure that the condemning authority follows all of the steps they're required to follow, that the offers they make are reasonable. If they are not reasonable, they will force them to file a lawsuit for eminent domain, which is now you didn't go to court and prove to a jury what the property is worth. But I will also say, as the city government, the city has no legal authority to stop Georgia Power from what they're doing. Their right of eminent domain is equal to ours. They could take your property. They could take city property. We can take their property. There's this weird back and forth when condemning authorities start fighting with one another. And I say that only so everybody understands there's not a whole lot the city can do to stop or change the way Georgia Power does it. I will tell you that if we were to call Georgia Power and say, we want y'all to do X, Y, and Z, the response would probably be, thanks for calling, but no thanks. That's probably the way they would respond. So I would urge anyone concerned about the process, go online, look up eminent domain attorney, condemnation attorneys, contact an attorney, make sure your rights are being acknowledged and protected, and if they aren't, rely on that lawyer to make sure they are.
I'm glad that our city attorney was here so you could expand on that and make it clear. Again,
Sir, my name is Robert Groves. I have the privilege of being a husband.
Excuse me, sir. I'm speaking.
I'm sorry.
Again, I'm going to ask if you are going to repeat what has already been stated. We ask that you would withhold your comments. Okay? The council members have heard the arguments and the points that you all have articulated. You have us at a disadvantage. We will have the opportunity to have our staff and our council to investigate it with our attorney and be able to give you guys a reasonably timely response as to what we can and cannot do to remedy the situation. So, thank you.
Oh.
No, ma'am.
Could I say one thing, Mr. Mayor, and perhaps show you an image
No, sir. We ask that you would present any evidence that you have to our city manager. If not at this, after the meeting, we ask that you would present it to him.
Transparency.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask you to please sit down. Thank you.
Excuse me, I have a question about a commitment that was just made. I heard a commitment that we will get back to you once we've done a little research and help explain the eminent domain process. My question is, when can we expect that to happen?
When we have the information and be able to assimilate it, we have your contact information, your address, and we will respond to you all. Yes, ma'am.
You just made a commitment that you would get back.
I've just made the commitment that our staff and our council will investigate and get back to you with a reasonable response based upon the legalities.
If you all could leave your,
I've been educated for over 25 years. I certainly don't need to go look up what eminent domain means, nor what PUC is.
Thank you, sir. Sir, you're out of order. You're out of order, sir. Please sit down. Thank you. Not, I'll have one of the officers escort you out.
if you can get all your names and information, contact information, we will share, our attorney said he will share information with you all, so. Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. My
Good
name is
evening.
Hannah Shulsky, and I'm 147 Graves Road, and I promise I'm not here to repeat any points. I have
Thank
some other
you.
angles for it. As development in our state is rapidly growing, I strongly feel ordinances providing additional protections for residents whose property has been seized through eminent domain are crucial. This transmission line came as a result of the QTS data center and will terminate at a new substation they are building right next to the data center on Veterans. Down the line, we may refuse rezoning for a large industrial project, but a neighboring county will agree. When that happens, we won't see any revenue from that business, but we will pay for it when the project requires immense utility expansion and Georgia Power once again decides the shortest, cheapest, and therefore best route for their interests is through the residential neighborhoods. Once our property is claimed by Georgia Power through eminent domain, they can begin cutting down our trees and developing on residents' property. There are local ordinances we could put in place regarding condemnation rights for residents that could mitigate and limit the destruction of our property. If I had been told that there's nothing we can, I have been told there's nothing we can do by every department I have contacted. If I were the director of the DOT and first heard about a project of this scale from a concerned citizen being bullied by Georgia Power, I would be furious because it's part of my duty to be regulating the planning process. I've seen other counties adopt ordinances that would require Georgia Power to disclose plans that demonstrate compliance with all applicable local regulations. We need to be enforcing transparency to protect the people of Fayetteville and the interests of this town we call home. There are currently exemptions written into our tree ordinances for utilities. I don't know why these are there, and that is a question I would like to know who these are benefiting. Last night, I read through the Georgia Forestry Commission's recommended community tree ordinance, tree conservation standards, and there are additional regulatory measures our local ordinances could include to further protect us and our homes. If Georgia Power's construction team damaged this critical root zone through any number of reckless or lazy construction practices, such as leaving a leaking container of solvents on the ground or driving heavy machinery over the critical root zone, it could take several years for that tree to die as a result of that incident. Years later, it would be difficult and expensive to prove that the tree's death was the result of the transmission installation, leaving us vulnerable to hefty tree removal costs and creating potentially deadly hazards. Now is the time when we need your help to work with us and exercise your rights and powers of governance for this generation and for generations to come. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, is there anyone else who wish to come forward? And once again, I ask you to please be considerate. Do not be repetitive about what we've already heard from what we've already heard. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Gene Etchison. I reside at 162 Graves Road. I'm not going to repeat what my neighbors have already stated. And one of the questions that I had asked, wanted to ask, was already answered to the Honorable Mayor, City Manager, Interim Clerk, Council. I'm a retired politician myself from New Jersey. I moved here 3 years ago. I'm also a retired police detective from the city of Newark. I moved to Fayetteville, Georgia, because some of my colleagues that I work with moved here, and I enjoy this place. I actually love what I see done. You guys are doing an impeccable job. I love it. But at the same time, to get a phone call from this company, offer me a set amount of money, and then I'm hearing from my neighbors that the same thing was done, and no one wants to live under cancer clusters at all. I'm praying that you guys will do the right thing. The question I wanted to ask, I found out that you did not know from hearing from your mouth. So I take that, for face value that you didn't know. I'm praying that you get back to us, that you can solve this matter. I didn't work 30 years being shot up and falling down through all kind of streets of Newark. For those of you who know the history of Newark, New Jersey, just to come here to a land I call peacefulness. I love this place. I got used to the crickets, the frogs, not used to the snakes yet, but I'm getting there. To have to move again because I have a cancer cluster that's being built in front of my house on my property. So with that, I yield, and God bless you. I pray you do the right thing.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. It is always this council's intent to do the right thing. Cannot make any promises or guarantees that we can solve the problem, but we will investigate with the advice of our attorney and our staff and all of the people who are equipped to advise us. I assure you we will seek that advice to try to make the best choice.
Mayor, for clarification, I just want to know, you all live in unincorporated, correct? Have you approached the county and their ordinances?
That was good.
And
Okay.
this would be affecting the city on as it goes down Veterans and towards QTS and a new substation they're building there.
Does affect.
And so it'll go down Easton.
And one of the things we've been asking for is that we wanted to see the map, and we haven't been able to get that from Georgia Power. So hopefully the mayor and I can coordinate with Georgia Power to see that map so we have a better idea. Because it's a great point, because it does affect whatever can happen in the future of our community. So.
The lower end of Graves Road is a very sensitive ecosystem. It's had ongoing historical drainage issues. I'm shocked. The first time they came out for a stake down on the property, it was directly beside the storm drain. I knew that when we were so we moved across the street, left of the storm drain, put in by I guess by the county government. It's going to be a problem. All we're asking for is
We'll coordinate with the Georgia Power and also with the county to see if we can collect more information.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, is there anyone else who would like to come forward and address the council on any other issue other than the Georgia Power transmission line issue? Again, to all the citizens, whether you live in the city of Fayetteville or you're not, you are in unincorporated Fayette County, we are concerned when you are concerned. However, we're talking about two jurisdictional lines of boundaries. You're talking about the area where the transmission lines begin that may or may not even be in the county. Believe that it begins outside of Fayette County, but it comes into Fayette County, and therefore we will also have to coordinate with the County Board of Commissioners as well. So we will make the commitment that we will investigate. Again, on the record, we cannot guarantee you that we can stop Georgia Power, as our attorney has told you, but we will give you the best information that we can on what we can do. Council members, any other comments? Okay. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Please. If you have any other comments, address it to our city manager at another time.
If I just clarify one thing, we know about the reaching out to the property owners. We just don't know what property owners, what the route of the transmission line is. And when we zoned the property, we weren't aware that there was going to be another substation required as part of the zoning. So we did not know that.
Okay, if there's, yes, sir, same issue?
No, just to the city manager, you just stated that all property owners were notified. All of us were not notified, but I've been in Fayette County for about 30 years. And basically, I'm here because it's going to affect the entire community. And they are individually calling people, or meeting with them, sending letters. I have not received any of this. But as a concerned neighbor, it's gonna be impactful for that whole area. It's not gonna be individualized like they are telling certain.
I totally understand that. It's not just the 116 landowners, it's surrounding landowners as well that will be impacted, that Georgia Power is not asking easements on. So I do understand that, sir. Yeah.
No, sir.
I'll get, you show it to me after.
We'll ask you to get with our city manager after the meeting, okay? If you can, and if we have an executive session to go into, and if you can hang around to that, I assure you he will accept, a meeting with you in the next couple of days, okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, anyone else would like to come before the council to address? Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, we need to go into an executive session to discuss potential litigation.
Mr. Mayor, we also will discuss real estate acquisition.
And to discuss real estate acquisition. I'll entertain a motion from the council to go into executive session.
So move.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to executive session. You're welcome to hang around if you wish. I cannot guarantee how long it will take. Normally, not very long, but I cannot once again guarantee that. You're welcome to hang around if you want to talk to our staff afterwards or any of the council members. But at this time, we will adjourn to an executive session to discuss possible litigation and real estate. Thank you very much for your presence tonight. If you won't be